Hey, welcome back to Bryce Unplugged. It's Saturday, so no big fancy setup today. Just me, you, Parkinson's, and apparently a week where the comments section turned into a research lab, a support group, a comedy club, and a mild existential crisis all at the same time. Because this week was Who Knew Week. And wow. Did people have thoughts? Good thoughts and big thoughts, some weird thoughts, and honestly, a few comments that made me sit there and kind of go like, okay, I was not emotionally prepared for this much earwax before lunch. And that's kind of what I love about this community. We can talk about these serious Parkinson's research, environmental risks, medication freedom, care partners and symptoms, and somehow I'll end up on earwax, bananas, and dopamine jokes all in the same conversation. That really is doing life today, isn't it? Well, I just kicked the camera. How do you like that? Elegant? No. Helpful? I hope so. And probably slightly sticky, the earwax that is anyway. The Who Knew video this week really got me thinking. Tuesday was all about the breakthroughs, things that researchers are working on right now. And I think that hit people the hardest. What I think hit them hardest wasn't the science, but it was the hope. The idea that maybe there could be a better way to detect Parkinson's earlier, maybe better ways to deliver medication, and maybe less living by the clock someday, which therefore gives us more freedom. And I could feel that in the comments. People were not just saying that's interesting, they were saying things like, that could change my life. And that is the very reaction right there. Because when you live with Parkinson's, hope is not always some giant dramatic thing, is it? Sometimes hope looks like fewer alarms, fewer pills, less planning, a little more space just to live. And we're going to talk more about that on Tuesday. The next episode is all about the medication clock, the timers, the water, the food timing, the pill cases, the did I take it panic, the whole tiny circus that follows us around. But today I don't want to get too practical yet. Today I just want to talk about what this week stirred up, because the comments told a story and I think we need to listen to it. One of the biggest conversations this week was the dry cleaning piece. And I have to tell you, that one really hit me hard, because when we talk about environmental risk and Parkinson's, a lot of people immediately think about factories and farms and industrial sites, or people working directly with chemicals. And yes, those matter, but the dry cleaning conversation made it feel different, because that was normal life for so many people. Dropping clothes off and picking them up, hanging them in the closet, and wearing a suit, a dress shirt, a uniform, a jacket, something for work, something for church, or something for a wedding, something for a funeral. Just regular life. And that is the part that really gets me, because I spent years in jobs where I wore a suit and a tie, at least a dress shirt and a tie. From the time I was probably 20 years old, dry cleaning was just a part of being professional, right? I never had a choice. I didn't think about it. But every week I dropped my clothes off and picked my other ones up, right? They smelled like responsible adult. You hung them in the closet and you wore them, and end of story. Except now we're hearing more about this dry cleaning, solvents, and environmental exposures, chemicals like TC and PC being possible risks. And suddenly the ordinary errands, they feel very different. And I'm not saying that to scare anybody. I really don't want people running upstairs and like ripping their clothes out of their closet and throwing them down their stairs, right? Although honestly, if you do, please film it. But the point is not to panic. The point's awareness. Because how many people worked in dry cleaning? How about that? How many people handled those clothes every day? How many people delivered them? How many people drove the vans? How many people pressed the shirts? Think about that. How many people worked behind the counter and touched those clothes every day? Right? Those people lived above or beside businesses. And how many people bought the clothes and brought their clothes in the cars, their homes for decades, and no one even thought about it? And that's the part that makes me stop, because people were not doing anything wrong, right? They're just working. They were serving customers. They were delivering clothes. They were raising families. They were trying to make a living. They were trying to look professional. They were just doing life. And sometimes environmental risks hide inside normal. That's what bothers me. Not just the chemical names, not just the studies, but the fact that ordinary people can be exposed to things for years without ever being told, hey, maybe there's a bigger story here. And I think that is why the comments were so strong. People started thinking back. Wait a minute. I worked around that. I wore that. I delivered that. My parents owned that business. I lived near that. I used that. I never knew. It's a heavy feeling, isn't it? It's a very heavy feeling. And again, I want to say this really clear because this isn't about blame. It's not about guilt. It's not about saying this definitely caused my Parkinson's at all. Parkinson's is complicated, and it's probably a messy combination of genetics, environment, and aging and inflammation, exposure, bad luck, and a nervous system that apparently missed several important staff meetings. But when people started connecting pieces of their story, then that matters. Because sometimes a piece of information doesn't change the diagnosis, but it does change the way you understand the story. And that can be powerful. That can be emotional. That can feel angry. That can feel sad. That can feel like, why didn't anybody ever tell us or look into this? And I think those feelings are fair because a lot of people were just living normal lives, doing normal jobs, wearing normal clothes, and nobody knew what questions to ask. And that's the conversation. That's why this matters. Not to scare people, but to give language to something they may have been carrying quietly. And then, of course, there's the earwax. And I have to say, the earwax conversation was exactly what I expected, and somehow worse. Because when you say Parkinson's research and earwax in the same sentence, people are going to react. You did. They did. Some people were fascinated. Some were grossed out. Some people were like, who knew? And others were suddenly giving their ears like the side eye, like, what else have you been hiding from me? And here's what I loved about that conversation, because underneath the weirdness, people understood the bigger point. The point wasn't just earwax. The point was that Parkinson's may leave clues in places that nobody ever thought to look. Smell, skin, oil, handwriting, movement, voice, sleep, and maybe even earwax. And I know that sounds so strange, but guess what? Parkinson's is strange. This disease affects so many systems in the body that it makes sense that researchers are looking beyond the obvious. And honestly, if weird research helps people get diagnosed earlier someday, then bring on the weird. I don't care if it's a pen, a test, a skin sample, a dog, a voice recording, or some poor scientist with a cotton swab and a dream. If it helps people get answers sooner, then I'm listening. And it may be uncomfortable, but I'm listening. And one of the things I noticed in the comments was how many people connected those breakthroughs to real life. That's what stood out to me. People were not just talking about science in some distant academic way. They were talking about what it would mean at the kitchen table, what it would mean in the car, what it would mean at Costco, what it would mean at church, at work, at dinner, and in the middle of the night. And in the middle of trying to live a normal life while Parkinson's keeps interrupting you like an uninvited guest who brought a clipboard. That is what this channel is about. It's not just here's the research, but what does this mean for people actually living with Parkinson's today? Because a breakthrough is not just a headline. A breakthrough matters when it touches the day-to-day stuff. Medication timing, getting diagnosed, feeling believed, planning less, living more, having a little more control, or even just feeling like researchers are still looking. And sometimes just knowing people are still looking gives you a bit of hope. Not fake hope, not miracle cure on the internet hope, but real hope. The kind that says, okay, this disease is awful, but people are still asking better questions. And better questions matter. And I also love how the comments became a bit of a Me Too wall this week. Because talking about medication timing, people talking about the clock running their day, people talking about carrying water, people talking about trying to manage meals and pills and sneaking water into their purses, and people talking about how this could change their life. That's what hit me, because sometimes when you live with Parkinson's, you start thinking that your daily struggles are just yours. Your weird timing issues, your fatigue, your pill alarms, your dry cleaning memory, your questions, your wait, is this Parkinson's 2 moment? And then someone else comments the exact same thing you were thinking. And suddenly you go, okay, guess what? I'm not crazy. Which is helpful because Parkinson's already gives us enough reasons to question ourselves. We don't need a bonus confusion, do we? That's why I always say the comments are just not comments. They're community. There are people finding each other in the middle of a mess. And yes, sometimes the mess involves earwax. Again, not elegant, but here we are. I think this week also reminded me of something really important. We need both sides of the conversation. We need the hopeful research. We need the raw reality. We need to know what scientists are working on, and we need to talk about what it feels like to live with this disease while we wait. Because that waiting space is real. Research is moving, but we are living now. We still have to take meds now. We still have to explain symptoms now. We still have to manage fatigue now. We still have to plan around this disease now. We still have to wake up tomorrow and do the best we can with the body we have. And that's where this community matters. Because science may be working on the future, but we still need support today. And that's why Doing Life Day means so much to me. It's not doing life someday when the cure arrives. It's not doing life when everything is easier. It's not doing life when my dopamine stops being dramatic. It's today, with the meds, with the symptoms, with the questions, with the weird research, with the comments, with the jokes, with the dry cleaning memories, with the bananas, with the earwax, and apparently, yeah. And I want to say something to the people who commented this week. Thank you so much. And I seriously mean that. Thank you. Thank you for making these episodes, these videos better. Because when you comment, it gives me a window into what people are actually thinking and feeling. It shows me what hit, what confused people, what made people laugh, what made people emotional, and what made people say, that's me. And those comments help shape what we talk about next. That's why the next episode on Tuesday is going to dig into the medication clock, because the comments made it so obvious. There is something people are feeling deeply. The constant timing, the alarms, the food, the water, the planning. The feeling that your day is being managed by a pill bottle with a superiority complex. So Tuesday, we're going to go there. And I think it's going to be a really good one. I really do. But today, I just want to sit in, just this week for a minute, because Who Knew Week did what I hoped it would do. It made us curious. It made us laugh. It made some of us uncomfortable. It made some of us look back at our lives differently. And it reminded us that Parkinson's is bigger than one symptom, one cause, one treatment, or one story. It's complicated, but so are we. And that's why we keep talking. So here's what I ask of you today. What stuck with you the most from the Who Knew Week? Was it the dry cleaning conversation? Was it the environmental exposure piece? Was it the medication delivery breakthrough? Was it the earwax? Was it something that somebody said in the comments? Was it just the feeling that maybe Parkinson's research is moving in directions we never expected? Drop it in the comments. And if you have a dry cleaning story, a work exposure story, a delivery job story, a family business story, or just want to, hey, wait a minute, I used to do that all the time story, share it if you're comfortable. Not to scare people, not to diagnose anyone, but because our stories help build the bigger picture. And sometimes your comment is the thing that helps somebody else connect the dots. And if this video hits home, hit that like button, not for me, for the person sitting at home thinking, I thought I was the only one wondering about this, because they are not. And when you hit like, YouTube is more likely to show this to someone who needs to hear that. If you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Come on, you're stuck, you're here, let's go. This channel is all about real life with Parkinson's, the research, the reality, the strange stuff, the hard stuff, and sometimes the stuff that makes you say, science, are you okay? Well, there you go. And for the people that don't have a community around them, that is exactly why I built the club. And that's why it exists. Because not everyone has people in their life who understand Parkinson's. Not everyone has someone to talk about the medication clock or dry cleaning or symptoms or fear or hope or weird things that come up after a video about earwax. The club is free to join. The link is in the description. There's no pressure. There's just a very open door for you to come join us. Because sometimes the most powerful thing is being around people who can say, me too, without making you explain the whole thing first. So that's where I am today. That's where I was. What a week. Who Knew Week was wild. It was hopeful. It was weird. It was serious. Hopefully it was funny. I thought it was funny. It was a little gross. It was basically Parkinson's research wearing a banana costume and holding a clipboard. And somehow, that just feels right. And if you're ready, I got a Bryce for you. Here it is. With Parkinson's, sometimes hope shows up in research papers. And sometimes it shows up in the comments. And sometimes, apparently, you know it shows up in earwax. Nobody said this disease was classy. Nobody. That's it for today. That's it for Bryce Unplugged. I hope you have a great weekend. Drop your comments below. What part of Who Knew Week stuck with the most? And if there's anything you want me to dig into, let me know in the comments. But until next time, I want you to keep laughing. I want you to keep showing up. I want you to keep being real. And I want you to keep doing life today. I love you. I'll see you on the next episode.